We got this video. This is a Mike Tyson video, okay? The rise and fall and rise again of Mike Tyson from boxer to broke from internet Ajay. I'm a little surprised. Interested. Well, I'm not surprised, but they're good for Ajay talking about something no one else is really talking about. At least I haven't seen it. So I am curious about what's going on here. But also I'd be afraid to talk about Mike Tyson because he'll boot me on the nose. Okay. So let's get this going.
Who I am. I sacrificed so much of my life. Can I at least get laid? You know what I mean? I've been robbed of most of my money. Can I at least
Trunks
get a
the Goon
blowjob?
super chatted $1.99. Sorry, not Lord, but law.
Okay, thank you.
Man enough. I'll eat your asshole alive, you bitch.
If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. If he's not
Audio is
dead, it doesn't
abysmal
count.
on
Hello,
Ajay's
ladies
video.
and gentlemen. The white guy who played Gandhi in the movie Gandhi here. Mike Tyson, aka Iron Mike, is one of the most well-known names in boxing history. His ferocious fighting style, tank-like physique, and penchant for knockouts impressed millions across the world. He was teeth-bitingly vicious and delivered hits like Saitama from One Punch Man. At the age of 20, Mike became the youngest
And he bit somebody's ear off because he was angry. So that's something as well. Yeah. God bless him, am I right?
unified heavyweight champion ever. Later on, he gained widespread infamy for biting off a piece of Evander Holyfield's ear during a boxing match. Surprisingly, his drama outside the ring was even
Did he swallow it? That's just I'm just genuinely curious. Did he swallow the ear or what did he do?
worse. Tyson constantly abused cocaine and served 3 years in prison for rape. He was no stranger to controversy and lived
Really? Wow. What a bad guy.
a high-octane luxurious lifestyle. As a result, Tyson went
I didn't know
bankrupt.
that.
This is the rise and fall of Mike Tyson. Before I get into it, here's a word from today's sponsor, Roman. Do you want a better sex life in 2023? Up
No.
to 52% of men will experience some form of erectile dysfunction in their life, and Roman is here to help. Roman offers a discreet process from start to finish, which is pretty important when it concerns your personal sex life. You can connect with an online medical provider with Roman's convenient online visit. The prescription ED treatments they will give you are safe, effective, FDA approved, and used by millions of men. With them, you'll get fast-acting results and stronger erections. Roman will send you your medication with free
What is happening right now? Are we watching an ad for erectile dysfunction right now?
2-day shipping. Oh, and with
Okay.
my 20% off link, treatments are as low as $3.20. If
Wow.
you've been struggling with ED, Roman can definitely help build your confidence up during sex. Use my unique link below or go to ro.co/AJ to get 20% off your first order today if prescribed. Again, it's ro.co/AJ for 20% off. Michael
Thanks,
Gerard
dude.
Tyson was born on June 30th, 1966 in Brooklyn, New York. Growing up, Tyson's family was unstable
there's
and struggled
no-
financially. As a teen, he found himself involved in a life of petty crime. He frequently stole and was arrested 38 times by the age of 13. Tyson actually had a soft side though. He had a fondness for pigeons and loved taking care of them. One day, a cruel bully pulled the head off of one of them, causing Mike to beat him up. This event
Wow.
sparked Tyson's passion for fighting. Word of advice, never fuck
A pigeon? Okay, incredible.
with the man's pigeons. After that encounter, he started fighting anyone who made fun of his high-pitched voice or lisp. While in a juvenile detention center, Mike met a counselor named Bobby Stewart who immediately recognized his boxing talent. Stewart was a former national boxing champion himself. He eventually introduced Tyson to Cus D'Amato, a legendary boxing trainer who previously coached Floyd Patterson and Jose Torres. D'Amato was getting up there in age and no current top boxer wanted his services at the time. So the task of developing a teenage Mike Tyson was perfect for him. I mean, the kid was jacked. At the age of 13, he
was
stood at
jacked.
5'8" tall and weighed 190 pounds.
Damn.
He delivered punches that felt like getting struck with a cinder block and had a thick neck that absorbed blows. Honestly, from a physical standpoint, he was built perfectly
Sounds like he was just like the guy who resists car crashes. Perfect body to resist car crash. Have you guys ever seen that? It's really interesting. There's like this is the perfect body. This is peak of masculinity, okay? This is the perfect way you'd have to look to sustain a deadly car crash and survive. That's how we should all look. All right, and we will evolve to look like that as time goes on, because cars are basically animals at this point.
for the sport of pugilism. D'Amato also served as a sort of father figure to Mike. The two became very close and even adopted Tyson after his mother passed away.
Wow.
D'Amato taught him the peekaboo fighting style, which suited Mike really well. He would crouch down then spring up while simultaneously landing a punch which delivered a harder impact. Utilizing this technique, Mike won the Junior Olympics in 1981 and 1982, but failed to qualify for the 1984 LA Summer Olympics. In March 1985,
Discord is in the link description.
he made his professional debut and won by TKO in the first round. The same thing happened in his second match.
Christ.
By the end of the year, he was 15-0 and had won every single match by either a KO or TKO. Sadly, Cus D'Amato soon passed away, which greatly hurt Tyson. He pushed forward though and continued to box. In November 1986, Mike defeated Trevor Berbick by a second-round TKO, making him the youngest world heavyweight champion ever at the age of 20. In 1987, he added the WBA and IBF titles, which unified the heavyweight division. Iron Mike then skyrocketed to stardom. His performances were so dominant that he punished his opponents in the ring during each bout. He even turned some of them to human jelly. He often intimidated people with his fearsomeness and sheer power. He was also alarmingly fast, often striking with a series of brutal combinations. At 21, he was 33-0 with 29 wins by knockout. Watching his matches, it's honestly a wonder to me how anyone who faced him survived. He was so confident, he once offered $10,000 to a zookeeper to let him fight a gorilla. Interestingly, he caught the
Did he win? Because I feel like there's no man alive that could actually fight a zookeeper. Did he offer it, or did he actually fight a gorilla?
10-5. He was so with 29 wins by knockout. Watching his matches, it's honestly a wonder to me how anyone who faced him survived. He was so confident, he once offered $10,000 to a zookeeper to let him fight a gorilla.
He would have gotten worked, bro. Let's be absolutely real here, okay? Did Mike, there's no way he fought an actual gorilla.
Interestingly, he caught the attention of Nintendo in 1987 and they made a Mike Tyson Punch-Out game that sold about 1 million copies. Tyson basked in the fame and fortune, but eventually became his own worst enemy. I mean, he blew millions of dollars on lavish parties and properties he never set foot in. In addition, he slept with countless women and snorted cocaine like he had 3 noses. Sometimes he was even coked out during matches. In order to pass drug tests, he used a prostitute.
I mean, that sounds like more dangerous for the person fighting him, right? That would just that would rile him up. That would get him going. I don't doubt it though, because there's probably a lot of pain training for boxing and shit. He's probably on other steroids as well. Well, that's not a steroid, but other PEDs as well. Like all these athletes are. It's just kind of a fact of life. So.
Prosthetic penis called a Wizinator, which was attached to a bag filled with baby urine. His wife Robin Givens also publicly filed for divorce, citing spousal abuse and his volatile temper. In 1988, Tyson made a colossal career mistake by firing coach Kevin Rooney, who took over after D'Amato died. This was a big loss because Rooney helped him keep his skills up and didn't allow excessive distractions. Due to the combination of everything going on, Mike lost motivation and started training less and less. He honestly didn't seem that focused on boxing anymore. On February 11, 1990, the 37-0 Tyson lost his first ever match to Buster Douglas despite being the 42-1 favorite. During the match, it was clear Mike couldn't keep up with Buster.
Imagine you bet on that and you bet against Tyson, you fucking go crazy.
He was getting wrecked and threw a desperate uppercut in the 8th round, which knocked Douglas down. Interestingly, the referee started the count late and Tyson's corner felt he was down for more than 10 seconds. However, Buster later claimed he always planned to get up before the 10-second mark but was just taking as long as he could. But
I mean, that makes sense. It gives you a second to rest.
The fact that he even got up at all shocked Mike, who was completely gassed. And in the 10th round, in what was considered one of the greatest upsets in boxing history, Douglas knocked out Tyson.
Damn.
It was a memorable scene watching him fumble for his
Hey, listen, I knocked out Tyson.
Mouthpiece as he was counted out.
I've knocked out Tyson before too, because I am a big fan of Tyson chicken nuggets. This video brought to you by Unhealthy Foods.
The world was surprised as the Knockout King was knocked out. Mike realized that if he didn't train hard and put 100% in, then he would lose to someone who would, especially at such a high level. He was so used to knocking out people early, he lost the stamina to go the distance. Despite the fact he had more talent, he had to concede to Douglas. In 1992, Mike's troubles worsened when he was sentenced to 6 years in prison.
I mean, true. Imagine losing anything to somebody named fucking Douglas. That's insane.
For raping an 18-year-old named Desiree Washington.
Jesus.
He maintained the encounter was consensual, but was ultimately convicted. He served less than 3 years.
I mean, listen, if he was convicted, especially back then, with how bad our system is when it comes to sexual assault, he probably did it possibly even worse than he's letting on. Just saying, man. Just saying.
Around this time, he converted to Islam. After returning from incarceration, he still boxed well, but was nowhere near his former self. He lost his ability to make protective head movements and was even more unconditioned. But that didn't stop him from enjoying his party lifestyle.
During the 33 months after you got out of prison, $4.5 million on automobiles and motorcycles. Gave automobiles to 15 women and 2 men. Once crashed your Rolls Royce and told cops to keep it. Spend $240,000 monthly in just walking around money, nearly $100,000 a month on jewelry and clothing, a house with 38 bathrooms. To what extent did it almost seem, or did
Hey, listen, I've been there before, okay? Well, I have 2 bathrooms in my house because I just, sometimes you just got to take a dump, How is this not reaching? What are you kidding me? Sometimes you got to go, and if my wife and I have to go at the same time, not a chance in heck, bro. Not a chance in heck.
you think that just the money would never run out?
I don't know. That's just how I live my life.
Taking his bouginess to the next level, he bought a few tiger cubs. One of them attacked a woman who jumped his fence to pet it. Absolutely genius, I know. Tyson later paid her $250,000 because she was so fucked up. Despite the setbacks, Tyson was still skilled enough to defeat several opponents and win back his WBA title. In November 1996, he fought Evander Holyfield, who won a bronze medal in the LA Olympics, which Tyson failed to qualify for. Holyfield dominated the latter part of the fight and absolutely refused to be intimidated by Tyson, who threw a punch after the bell in the first round. Showing he was the one to be feared, he headbutted Tyson multiple times throughout the match. Holyfield slyly did this in the clinch so the referee wouldn't notice. And that was a major difference between the two. He was a good clinch fighter while Tyson wasn't. Although using questionable tactics, Holyfield won in the 11th round. Graciously accepting defeat.
What an asshole. He fucking headbutted him in the match? Jesus. Okay.
Mike stated, "I have the utmost respect for you," when addressing Holyfield after the bout. The two later had a rematch, aka the Bite Fight, in June 1997, which was probably the most talked about boxing event ever. During it, Holyfield headbutted Tyson like he did previously, which frustrated him.
Headbutt in the second round, which opened the gash on your eye. Tell us about that first.
But me in the first round.
Jay, how is the audio? Like, you didn't listen to the audio in this at all? It's horrible. Come on, man.
But then he butted me again the second round. Then as soon as he butted me, I watched him. He had me holding, he looked right at me, and I saw him, and he was going for it, and he kept going for it, and he butted me again. He kept going down and coming up.
Maybe it's intentional. It's for DMCA purposes.
And no one warned him. No one took any point for him. What am I to do? This is my career. I can't continue getting butted like that.
Sensing defeat, Tyson bit an entire piece of his right ear off, then later bit his left ear, resulting in a disqualification. This moment would follow him throughout his entire career. When asked why he did it, Mike mentioned he was not only frustrated by the headbutting, but also thought Holyfield was a superior boxer.
I was angry that he was butting my head. He kept betting me, and he cut my head the first fight with headbutts, and he did it again. And I was just enraged. It doesn't make no excuse for what happened, but I was just enraged, and I wanted to inflict so much pain.
Oh, that's probably what he's doing that for, because now the voice is all off. I think it's intentional.
And stuff. And I was just pissed off that he was such a great fighter too, and I was just pissed off.
I mean, he's headbutting him. I can see why he might want to. But he might consider, biting his ear off. Just saying it. You know, I can understand that. Wait, what is going on here? Oh, it's on Strong's. Damn.
I was just mad at him. Yeah.
An unapologetic Mike stated he would even do it again.
I mean, was that just kind of a place where you just went and you kind of hit a wall, or if you had a chance to do it over again, would you do it over again?
No, yeah, probably do the same thing because he was really kicking my ass. He was really kicking my ass and bumping my head and stuff. And I think I would do it again. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. But I am kind of redeeming myself.
The two later settled their differences, though, and Holyfield even came on his podcast. After the fiasco, Tyson's career
how much did he come?
never seemed to recover. He didn't care about boxing anymore and continued to...
Well, how you get to a certain point where you can't really fight anymore, Like, you get to a certain point where you just kind of... it's athletes. I feel like they don't last too much into their 30s. Just kind of kicks you in the booty. Kind of knocks the wind out of you. So...
get into legal troubles. In February 1999, he was sentenced to 9 months in prison for assaulting two motorists in a traffic accident.
Damn.
In September of the year 2000, Tyson tested positive for marijuana after beating the Polish boxer Andrew Galata. This was a shame because he had beaten Galata so bad he refused to fight despite the urging of his corner to continue on.
I mean, listen, we have our marijuana laws are so stupid. I think weed is a great. It's not like everything else. It has its risks, but if we allow alcohol to be legal, what's your argument? How could you have an argument against marijuana? It's objectively worse, right? That's my thing. So that's why I think it's silly in general.
Galata was later diagnosed with a brain hemorrhage and cheekbone fracture.
Damn.
He probably would have died if he continued the fight. The match was just another testament to Tyson's incredible strength. He could barely try and still nearly kill a professional fighter. As time
passed, a young man's sport. I think almost everything is a young person's sport for the most part. The people that are in their 30s doing well is really because they were able to take so long, have so much time to develop their bodies to adapt to something. But at the end of the day, you'll get better experience, but you'll probably always generally be outclassed. But we saw Rocky V or whatever, he was able to put up a good fight because of his experience. So.
Tyson's tenacity and ruthlessness was as strong as ever. When talking about Lennox Lewis, Tyson claimed he was impregnable and wanted to eat his children.
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lennox is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Jesus Christ.
In February 2003, Tyson got a face tattoo 3 days before his fight with Clifford Etienne. He initially wanted hearts, but was turned down.
Damn, really? I feel like that would hurt extra if he got punched. I don't know. Tattoos hurt, bro.
By his tattoo artist, who told him to get a tribal piece instead. In August 2003, Mike filed for bankruptcy, having blown through the $600 million he earned throughout his career.
Jesus
it was later
Christ.
revealed he was $24 million in debt. After Tyson's 58th match and resulting loss to Kevin...
Imagine that, bro. It's unfortunate. You can't manage your money that poorly, where you make millions of dollars and you still get into debt. That's nuts.
McBride in 2005, he retired from boxing. Regarding the situation, he said, "I'm not going to disrespect the sport anymore by losing to this caliber of fighter."
I don't think I have it anymore because I got the ability to stay in shape, but I don't got the fighting guts, I don't think, anymore.
Did you feel as though you had it coming into the fight?
No, I'm just fighting to take care of my bills, basically.
Does that mean we won't see you fight again?
Yeah, that's most likely. I'm not going to fight again. I'm not going to disrespect the sport anymore by losing to this caliber of fighter.
Damn. I mean, that's some shade. He's right. I guess he got to a point where he just needed to make money. I mean, I get it. But damn, he threw some shade. I'm not going to fight anymore. I don't want to disrespect. I don't want to lose to these calibers of fighters, so I'm not going to fight anymore. That's so disrespectful. All right, well, based.
December 2006, Tyson was arrested for driving under the influence and possession of cocaine. He only served 1 day in jail, though. In November 2009, he was arrested for getting into a fight at LAX with a photographer. Luckily for him, no charges were filed. That same year, he famously appeared in the movie The Hangover. He later appeared in Ip Man 3, Rocky Balboa, and the Indian movie Represent, Liger. After releasing 2 books and going on a highly successful one-man tour that made it to Broadway, Tyson was able to turn his finances around. In 2011, he had a new Animal Planet series called Talking on Tyson. Although things seemed to be going well, he admitted to nearly dying from alcohol abuse 2 years later.
I'm on the verge of dying because I'm a vicious alcoholic.
Damn, I was just going to say, I guess Mike Tyson's for the birds as a joke, and then this happened, so now I feel bad. Jesus.
And God, this is some interesting stuff. What the hell? I haven't took drugs in 6 days.
Well, good for you, man.
And for me, that's a miracle. I've been lying to everybody else to think I was sober, but I'm not.
In April 2022, TMZ released a video of Tyson punching a passenger who was annoying him.
Oh, I remember this.
Aboard a JetBlue flight in San Francisco Wednesday.
My
The video
God.
obtained by TMZ Sports shows the man throwing the punches is former heavyweight champ Mike Tyson.
Damn.
JetBlue declined to comment, but a statement from Mike Tyson's representative says, unfortunately, Mr. Tyson had an incident on a flight with an aggressive passenger who
But he said he wasn't going to disrespect the sport by fighting players of that caliber, bro. What happened?
began harassing him and threw a water bottle at him while he was in his seat.
Damn.
Both Tyson and the passenger, seen with a bloodied forehead,
Oh,
were
well.
detained.
He did
Well, if you threw a water bottle at him, I don't know why you're disrespecting Mike Tyson, bro. Come on, what are you doing? That's just not engaging in self-preservation at that point.
didn't face any legal consequences, though. Since retiring from boxing, Mike participated in an exhibition bout against Roy Jones Jr. in 2020. Nowadays, he seems open to fighting influencer Jake Paul. Ultimately, Mike Tyson is considered by some to be the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. He destroyed his opponents with his Lamborghini-like speed and bone-breaking punches. He rarely took a step back and was never intimidated. After 58 matches, his knockout-to-win ratio was an astounding 88%. The man truly had dynamite in his hands. Unfortunately, things seemed to go downhill after the death of his father figure and coach, Cus D'Amato. After winning millions of dollars, he fell into a lifestyle of debauchery. Tyson suffered from a serious cocaine and alcohol addiction. Sadly, he shifted his focus from training to pleasure, and his boxing skills suffered as a result. Tyson then went bankrupt and faced a barrage of legal issues. Luckily, he was able to leverage.
That's crazy. I don't know. Like I've always been raised to like live within your live within your means. So for me, or below your means. Like my mother did pretty well, but she tried to like live below her means. So for me, it's like bizarre when somebody spends all this money on stuff, because like even now, like, you know, with again competition, whatever, less money, but I'm not hurting because I'm living like below my means. You know, that's my general advice, is to try to do that. You know,
his fame and get out of.
Oh, we lost a child too. Did he? He lost a child. That would fuck him up also, man. Damn. Mike Tyson loses child. Oh, daughter. That's horrible. The big tragedy in his personal life has been the loss of his daughter, Exodus Tyson. Oh, that's horrible. Tyson passed away in May 26, 2009 in a horrible treadmill accident. She was found by her older brother with a cable hanging around her neck. That's terrible, man. Wow. Why didn't he mention that? Probably forgot. That's so sad, dude. What a horrible thing.
Debt. Mike now owns a weed farm and sells Mike Bites, which feature an ear with a piece missing. In addition, he has a podcast called Hotboxin' with Mike Tyson. It seems he's survived his career, and I, for one, am happy for him.
He's like treating Mike Tyson like an influencer. It's just an old guy that was really good at boxing, exceptional at boxing, and then he's did a podcast. This is the podcast era. Everybody does podcasts. It's not a bad idea. Damn, that's terrible though. How unfortunate.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.